Okay, nice. All right. Let me continue. Okay, so about me, I'm just gonna like give a short description about myself and then continue onwards to the presentation. So Letu Shabalala was born and raised in Mandini. I didn't have a computer back then. All I had was a Educom 2000. And okay, if I had the picture, I would have shown you, but it was just like a computer, which is not really, okay, it is a computer that had games on it to teach kids on how to use a computer, just like using a keyboard and using a mouse, and then learn how to type by playing games. It was just about like having fun while learning. And from there onwards, I just like decided to do what, okay, like to just explore and then teach people or like show people how to do what I found or what I've learned about. Just like my journey at Love Life, it was all about taking what I've learned and then sharing with the people. And that's where I saw that, okay, I am passionate about this. So how about I just continue with this? So from there onwards was just like learning something and then sharing it with the people, just like how I'm going to do it today, sharing with you what I've learned about MIT App Inventor. So with no wasting any time, we're just going to go into our presentation. So our presentation will be just an introduction of what is MIT App Inventor, and we're gonna look at the few things that educators can use or how MIT App Inventor can be used in education or how it is already used in education. So this presentation is recorded, by the way, and it can be retrieved later after the presentation or after the web talk. So, and okay, and then after that, after the education part, we're just gonna dive into the business ideas that one can use to further work on the MIT App Inventor. And then to wrap it all up, then we're gonna do a little tutorial, a basic tutorial on like creating your first app. And then after that, we can have a Q&A session. So what is MIT App Inventor? MIT App Inventor is an innate visual programming environment that allows everyone, when I mean everyone, I'm even talking about children, to build fully functional apps for smartphones and tablets. Those new to MIT App Inventor can have a simple app in less than 30 minutes. And what's more is that the block-based tool facilitates the creation of complex, high-impact apps in significantly less than the traditional time it takes to create an app using the traditional environments, just like Visual Studio and other programming environments, IDEs. So block-based coding programs inspire intellectual and creative empowerment, just like the Minecraft block-based coding, as we remember from Alsaby Hart's presentation last week, Tuesday. Using block code to program the agent to move around the simulation and then doing certain activities that you program it to do. If I remember correctly, she did try and show us a demonstration of how to do it or how to create an account and then work around the simulation. So even Minecraft uses block-based visual programming for you to be able to complete tasks. So who can learn MIT App Inventor? App Inventor is for anybody that would love to spend less traditional time on building an app. Anybody from the age of 6, but not strictly limited to the age of 6. Even a 5-year-old can start learning to code an app. And if you know Tanmay Bakshi, it's not a she, it's a he. Sorry. A big shout out to him because he learned to code at the age of 5, if I'm not mistaken. Even teachers can learn App Inventor to use it as part of STEM in schools. And parents also can teach their kids, or they can give their kids App Inventor to keep busy during this COVID-19 lockdown. And also business owners or small business owners can also learn App Inventor to build apps to help them in running their businesses. So what do I require for me to start developing the apps on App Inventor? The most important thing that you need, one, is a Google account. If you don't like Google, this time you gotta like Google. So you have to have a Google account, and because that Google account will be linked to your applications. The applications that you'll be doing will be cloud-based at that moment when you develop them. The interface is cloud-based. So that's why you need the Google account. And you're gonna need a laptop or desktop or even a tablet. I tried using my smartphone, but it requires like patience because the block-based visual programming, it's just a drag and drop type of thing. So if you're gonna use a smartphone, the screen is too small. I'm not sure if this one is gonna like appear. This screen is so small, like really tiny. So when it comes to like, even my thumb is like so big. So if I had to like drag and drop a certain block, it will take time and a lot of patience. So I would recommend using your smartphone as a tool to preview your app, to see how does the app run on a smartphone. It's just like live preview. And if you're working on a desktop or a laptop, you can use something that is called an emulator or an Android emulator to live preview your app. And the other thing that you need is a browser, so you can be able to access the web-based interface for App Inventor. So our interface has two main editors, which is the design editor or the designer editor. Try and use a laser. This is the designer editor, and then we have the blocks editor. Sorry. So there's not really much syntax required for one to be able to code in App Inventor. So the blocks language eliminates the need to remember and type code. Just like how you need to remember the public static void main for Java. You don't really need to remember that because everything is in front of you. You just have to know, okay, like it's just like for most programmers, they know this as pseudocode. Pseudocode is just like saying, okay, if I want to do this, this is what I have to do. Okay, let me just continue before I try to think of something else while I'll be focusing on this. So let me just go on to the designer. So the designer editor is where you lay out the user interface or the look and feel of your app, and also specify which features or functionalities it should have. You get to choose from features and components like images, buttons, text boxes, and functionalities like text to speech. And you can also make your app use sensors to measure temperature, humidity, And a lot of things though. It's like a lot we're gonna see when we are trying to build our first app. I'm gonna show it to you. So the designer has, or the designer editor has four parts, which is the palette, the viewer, components, and properties. So the palette is where you get most of your components and the functionalities. This is the part, the palette side. And then we have the viewer. The viewer is where you see a preview of your user interface. So whatever you drag from this side to here, it's going to appear right here. And whatever you have selected to be used on your app is going to appear right here also on your components side or your components panel. And then we have the properties. So the properties actually show you the properties of each component that you have selected to use on your app. And then we move on to the blocks. So before I go on to the blocks, for you to switch between the designer editor and the blocks editor, you just click on the blocks right there at the top right corner of your interface. And so the blocks editor has three parts. Okay, it's actually two, but then three including the trash can at the bottom right corner of your screen at that time when you're working on your app. So the blocks editor is where you program the behavior of your app. There are built-in blocks that handle things like math, logic, and text. And below those built-in blocks, it's the blocks that go with each of your components in your app. So if you selected a text editor, then the text editor block will appear. So if you click on that block, it will show you blocks that correspond with the text editor. And then we have the workspace. The workspace is where you assemble the blocks into a program or an algorithm. If you think of an algorithm, it's just like a recipe to bake a cake or bake some cupcakes. And then we have the trash that I just said, that I just spoke about. So the trash is just a small bin, but this bin, the problem is with this bin is it's not like recycle bin for Windows. If I drag something from here and put it on this trash, I cannot retrieve it, but I just have to like go back to my blocks and pick a block that I can use. Okay, that's it for the interface. And we're just gonna go back to the interface when we are working on our first app. So to education. So the primary aim of MIT App Inventor is providing anyone with an interest in building apps to solve problems with the necessary tools to do so. App Inventor is a great tool to teach kids the basics of coding. And getting them engaged in app development and other activities using MIT App Inventor. There are materials developed by the MIT App Inventor team that are primarily orientated toward teachers and students at primary and high school levels, but app inventors come in all ages from around the world. Again, shout out to Tenmei Bakshi. And just to demonstrate this, this right here, what we see right here is just a design view of the app built by kids aged 9 to 12 at the Preface Hackathon in Hong Kong that happened in 2018. So I picked this up from the blogs, from the MIT App Inventor blog. So these kids created a create your own burger app for the Hong Kong chain Texas Burger Restaurant, which was structured with variables and list pickers components and fine-tuned with procedure, components, and color coding. Also, the app provides enhanced visualization, problem on pronunciation, okay, for customers, and serves as a confirmation tool for store owners to minimize wrong orders. Do you know how customers feel at a restaurant when the waiter has written the wrong order or got the customer the wrong order? So this app was to just help out to minimize those type of errors, human errors. I'm also human. So all kids are born with limitless creativity. Give them a platform to channel their abilities, and they may end up with creations that are larger and will impact more than what you thought they could do. So just think of App Inventor as the new Lego for kids to play with. If you do know what is Lego, like the building blocks. So just think of App Inventor as that type of Lego for kids to play with. And this is the picture of those kids that developed the app. So just imagine what your kids can do if they get their hands on this platform called App Inventor. Just let them flow with it, and you'll be really amazed of what they can do. We can also learn through it while we're on lockdown and make cool, fun apps for ourselves, of course. Just like how Sadile Mashlaba usually says that it's like learning to play soccer. So just simply just have fun while learning. Okay, just to speak a little about the resources that teachers and parents can use, you can find them at https://appinventor.mit.edu/explore/teach. So those resources include a curriculum in computational thinking, which contains 10 units that comprise approximately around 50 hours of content. And you can teach kids, you can teach learners and students to think computationally and solve problems while building apps with App Inventor using that computational thinking curriculum. And then they have another resource for mobile computer science principles. It also has 10 units of computer science principles, which include topics like creating graphics, animation, simulation and modeling, algorithms, communication through internet, using and analyzing data, just to name a few. In today's world, data is a big thing, and people like to learn how to use that data. So that mobile computer science principles curriculum can really teach how to do that without even knowing how to code in traditional programming languages, just like Java, Python, C# or C++. Simply put, students will love creating and programming their own mobile apps, as most kids are regular users of mobile devices. The process of creating an app can help demystify the amazing piece of everyday technology. For instance, students could put together a small app that turns typed text into spoken words, just like what we're gonna do. But the secret ingredients here in real-time synchronization between the visual programming environment and a connected phone. As soon as a student puts the programming pieces in place, the app starts to run on the phone in live preview. And then there's an App Inventor site for educators, and also that you can find in this URL or the website address. And they also have tutorials. simple tutorials to get you started with learning App Inventor. And they got app building guides to help you learn more of the endless possibilities with using MIT App Inventor. And there's also a bit of guides on how to use AI with MIT App Inventor, to learn machine learning through App Inventor with building applications that can classify images. They also have guides for Internet of Things with MIT App Inventor, building applications that communicate with other devices and maybe control your home systems using an app you developed yourself. You can even build apps with all kinds of sensors, like sensors for temperature, moisture, noise, light, color, or motion, and other devices that have buttons, switches, and relays connected to a controller. Okay, so when I thought of like including the business side for MIT App Inventor, I just thought of the Kasi food app, Kasi fast food app. So sometimes I would like, when I'm in like my hometown, I would walk like a long distance just to get fried chips. So I was just like sitting by myself and thinking like, okay, what if that person who has like a fast food business would like build an app using MIT App Inventor so we can order in time, not just to walk like a long distance and then wait there for like the fried chips to be prepared. So if somebody owns a fast food business in a township, they can build an app to assist in their business production, not like make customers wait for their order. Have people order from the app, and they can choose whether they get the order delivered to them or they can fetch the order themselves. Just like I said, I know a few people around my hometown that can really benefit from this. If you also want to become like a freelance app developer, you can use MIT App Inventor to come up with ideas and then build apps for people using MIT App Inventor, and ka-ching in your pocket. You can also build school apps. For schools, you can create a certain school-based app to assist learners to get more work done at home. And maybe the app can also have features of submitting homework and downloading assignments to do at home, and have a lot more features possible with the MIT App Inventor. Just insert the extension and then use it on your app. And for tourism, people can build apps to assist tourists to know about the historical sites in their area. That's what I thought. That's just a small idea. And somebody can also develop a tutor search app to help the students around the area to seek for help from tutors around, because it's sometimes like difficult to like go around asking people like who is an expert in maths, who is an expert in physical sciences and chemistry, something like that. So just build an app for your community, and yeah, people can actually like benefit from that. Yes, that was just the idea. And then for somebody who has a t-shirt printing business or a small business, they can get people to order their custom print t-shirts on the app. And just to eliminate the errors in ordering, I know a guy from my hometown who does t-shirt printing. And I remember once that I once ordered maybe like 10 t-shirts, and there was like 2 that were not really what I wanted. So maybe like creating this app using MIT App Inventor could help him too, so he can print what we ordered and not make mistakes. So you can use MIT App Inventor without just like learning stuff like C#, C++, Python. just use visual programming block code. And for coronavirus, so what I thought for coronavirus in using MIT App Inventor, okay, one can create an app that informs people of the facts about the virus, because some people still ask us, like, what are the symptoms? How do you know if you got the virus? Surely you cannot really know without testing, but yeah, you can. Yeah, it's a type of yes or no type of thing, and you can create an app that informs people about how to stay safe and healthy, about the healthcare facilities around the area or around your community. And you can create an app that connects people to reliable and up-to-date sources of information, because today there's a lot of like fake news going around about the virus. And you can create an app that connects people to each other in case of emergency. You can create an app that has like emergency contacts on it, or if you just press on the button and then like it sends a signal to the emergency facilities. Just to name a few ideas, maybe you could come up with more. Okay, so just to go on to our first app, or maybe creating our first app, like I said, this presentation will be short. Short. Keeping it short and simple. I'm also short. Kidding. Right. I'm just gonna cut this off for a bit. And I need water. Okay. So what I need to do is open up my browser and just type in MIT App Inventor 2. And then from there onwards, I'll have to use the link that has MIT App Inventor. Click on it, and then it will show me like the website that has everything. Just like I said, that the MIT resource page, this is the resources button right there, but I'm not gonna go on it, just to show like the summary up here. You can get like documents on how to get started and tutorials, or just to get yourself going and learning the basics. And also have resources for teachers, and then forums, just in case you have questions that needs to be answered. Whew. Okay, so for us to begin building our app, we just go there and create apps. And like I said to you, you're gonna need a Google account. So it's gonna ask me to sign in using my Google account. So right there. Oh, shucks. Come on, really now? Because I'm using incognito. Yes. All right. Try another way. Okay, done. Welcome to MIT App Inventor. Da 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 da. If you want to read the release notes, you can just click right there. Okay, continue. So at first, when you're just like beginning to get onto the part where you create the apps, they give you tutorials that you can start using. So I'm just going to use the basic one, which is the Talk to Me app. Before I go into that, the other thing is that you will need an MIT App Inventor emulator if you're using a desktop or laptop. So MIT App Inventor. Emulator. Load. Yeah. Okay. Installing it. Instructions for Windows. So this is where I got my setup. You just click on the download the installer and it will download, and then you have to follow the steps in installing it. And then you have it. That's gonna be the thing that you're gonna use to, or the platform you're gonna use as your virtual phone or your virtual smartphone to live preview your app. So we're just gonna go on to the Talk to Me tutorial. And the fun thing is they also have videos to show you how to do it. And you can just watch the video if you want to, or you can follow the steps right here. But I'm just gonna close that part for now and just work with this. So this is the user interface that I spoke about, and this is the palette section with the features that you can use and the functionalities. So the user interface, which has the button, checkbox, etc., and the layouts if you want to properly lay out your app with the horizontal layouts and the vertical layouts, arrangements of your buttons, the images. You can also insert media, have your app to be able to record, have your app to be able to capture images, have an image picker if you want to have a gallery. If you also want to draw, you can have a canvas, insert maps, sensors, and include Twitter and be able for people to be able to like share the app with other people, can include sharing. If you want to include a database on your app, you can use one of these right here. There's CloudDB, TinyDB, and TinyWebDB. And you can also include Bluetooth on your app. And if you want to use your app to control the Lego Mindstorms, you can use this part right here. And the experimental part usually has like multiple things, but at the moment they have like Firebase DB. Firebase DB is a product of Google to create databases that you can add on your apps. I've been working on it. So sad that I cannot show you for this presentation. And if you want to include extensions, you can import the extensions right here using this link. So let's begin by using our user interface section on our palette to create the app. So I'm just going to click on the button, click and drag it onto my user interface screen right there. But because I need it in the middle, I'll have to edit the screen. So select the screen and it will show me the screen properties. So I need my button to be in the middle. So right there. So I just have to set up the align horizontal and the align vertical. Yeah. And then after that, we edit the properties of the button. So if you want to rename your button name or the component name, you can just click right there on rename and rename the button. Let me just say, come on, talk to me. That's the name of the button, but not what's going to appear on the button. And I'll have to change the text that appears on the button right there on the properties. Just say talk to me right there. And to get it talking now, we then have to go onto the blocks editor. So just like I said, the blocks editor has the blocks and the viewer, which is the workspace. And here's my bin right here. Let me just show you how it works. If I just inserted this by mistake and I want to remove it on my workspace, I just click and drag it over to the trash or the bin and then release. It's gone. Okay, so what I need to do, yeah, okay. Start with the talk to me button. So I have to tell my app that when the talk to me button is clicked, see right there, it's just like pseudocode. When talk to me is .clicked or when talk to me .click do. So what does my app have to do when the button talk to me has been clicked? Oh, the other thing that I forgot to add on designer, it's the the text to speech, because I need to make it to change the text into speech. So I need to add this feature onto my app. How can I forget this? All right, back to blocks. And now the text to speech is appearing right here. So I need to make my app talk. So I need to call the text to speech and add the message right here. So I need to go into text on the built-in blocks, select the empty text block, add it right there, and then it's just like doing hello world, hello developers. So hello world. Okay. Please forgive me for what I'm gonna do now. Just checking something. Share. My audio was not included in the sharing, so okay, back to us. Yeah, boo. Okay, so for us now to see if this app of ours works, we need to connect with our emulator. So I decided to use the emulator. The AI AI companion is for smartphones, so you can download the AI companion from App Store or from Play Store, so you can be able to live preview your app on your phone. And I'm going to use the emulator that I downloaded from this link right here. And if you want to just use a USB connection, the USB, you can plug in the USB to your laptop or desktop and then plug it in onto your smartphone. And when you select USB, the app will be downloaded onto your phone and you can then live preview from your phone. Wow, what's happening outside? Okay, so back here, I need to open up the emulator so we can be able to continue. Yes, but I'm the administrator. Okay, so I've opened it. And now I need to connect emulator. Let's just wait for it to connect. Come along now. Network problems. So it's telling me that I need to relaunch. Reset connection. And connect to the emulator. Come on. Okay, let's just use this one without the text box. Just no problem. Really now. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, sign back in again. This time I'm using another one. Another account. Use that other one is giving me problems. So back to blocks. Put this one aside. Do what we can do that side. Hello, world. Open up the emulator. And try to connect. Just hope it works. It's been working. Oh, come on. Technical difficulties. when me and Pio were testing this out, it worked. But now, I don't know why it's giving me problems, like problems and problems and problems. Okay, one more time. Okay, I hope the camera will be able to show my phone. We'll just use the phone instead. So I've downloaded the companion onto my phone. Just gonna show it to you. So, come on, up here. Oh, whoa. Oh, crashed. I wonder if it's appearing, but okay. Settings. Yeah, it's giving me problems. That's why you cannot see. I mean, like the phone is just like disappearing on this background. Come on. Okay. Try again with the emulator. Why is this giving me problems? Oh, it's not working out. Why should my presentation have a boss kill at the end? Oh, okay. No, fine. Let me just skip to the Q&A part. Please forgive me for my network having problems. And yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry that was a boss kill, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the weather, my network is giving me problems. I was so hyped up about showing showing you guys that part where you get your app working and the joy that you just get. Okay, fine. So let's just skip on to the Q&A session. And everybody that has questions, may just please post them on the chat session or the chat part of our session, the meeting chat. Okay. So, all right, I'm just gonna read the questions right here. So Pia is asking, can you use MIT App Inventor to make apps for Android and iOS? Yes, Pia, yes. So at first, MIT App Inventor was only dedicated for Android, but recently they have made it to be able to, for you to be able to create apps for iOS. It's possible on iOS now. Any other question? Any other question? Okay, another question is that once you have created your app, can you upload it to platforms like Google Play? Yes, that's a definite yes. That's a definite yes. But for iOS, the problem is um, there's some certificates that you need, and those certificates need to be bought, so they need money. So it might be like a long procedure with the iOS side. And for Google, it's a bit, it's not costly like iOS. So yes, it is possible to upload them onto platforms like Google and App Store, but the App Store side, it's gonna be a long procedure. They are so strict with their rules. And yeah, with their terms and conditions, they are so strict. So, but the iOS side, it's gonna be really strict. Any other questions? If there's no other questions, thank you very much. Thank you for your time to join me today and join GoDigitalSA Foundation and giving you all an educational journey into all these different platforms that you can use during the lockdown. And thanks to GoDigitalSA Foundation for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on MIT App Inventor. I hope we learned to share. I mean, what am I saying? Okay, I'm pretty tired of it. So I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. Amen.